You guys see me now?
I can hear you.
Cool. I have no idea what Williams are. Ian Williams. You don't hear me, Sydney?
I hear you. I'm sorry, that was for Chris.
Yeah, I don't hear Chris at all.
Good morning, Samantha. Oh my gosh, my dog is being extra today. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed.
Come on, Piper, get with the program.
She normally doesn't get up till 6 p.m. and she's all about doing all the things this morning.
Well, I guess we're communicating with Chris through text right now because
Abraham said he can hear Chris. That's weird. How come we can't hear him? So good morning, everyone. Chris Woolman is with us, but for some reason we can't hear him. But he's here.
yeah.
Good morning, Josh.
That's weird.
Yeah, that is strange. Well, welcome back to reality, right? Last week was a little crazy. Was it crazy for you?
Yeah. I mean, it was just lots of stuff going on. You know what really sucks about last week?
Mm-hmm.
The traveling was okay, but sitting on the plane,
yeah,
I don't know what happened, but my sciatic pain came back and I can't get rid of it. It's been like a whole week of trying to stretch and get it out, but
yikes.
So I tried something new this morning. I went to the gym before Beadmaker and coffee.
You're brutal.
And I made it in time.
That's so painful. Painful. Good for you though, man. I cannot just getting up early is hard enough.
It's still not good, but I feel better.
Yikes. Well, good.
Well, I guess we're going to have someone interpret for us if we want to talk to Chris, because
any luck now?
There we go.
All right.
We can hear you.
Now we hear C3PO in the background or R2D2.
Good morning, Nick. People jumping on this morning. That's awesome. Christopher, so cool. All right, guys. Well, let's get this thing started. So we've been complaining a little bit about, so most of you know that a week ago, we were in Orlando, Florida for MTE, which is Mobile Tech Expo. And we had such a great time. This was kind of PNS's first big event since the last time we were at MTE in 2020, right? Which was like the world shutdown
2 years ago.
So this was our first. I know there's been a few other ones. This was our kind of first big gathering. And man, it was so great to see everyone. That was my favorite thing was just, I mean, the education and everything was great, but it was so good to see everyone. It was so awesome.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun just chatting and reconnecting and kind of, there's a lot of like business things that have needed to happen in person,
Mm-hmm.
that we were able to take care of and work out kinks and things. And
Yeah.
I think it was totally worth going. Um, and I'm excited to go next year.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
go back.
Yeah, it was really great. And then we are working on getting our presentations uploaded, but myself, Kyle, and Rennie, we all did presentations on Education Day. And man, that was really eye-opening for me. I know the last time I was there, the classes would be half full, there was more people milling around in the hallways and things like that. So the IDA puts on a whole class day, which is super awesome. And Rennie's was one of the first ones. And what shocked me about Rennie's was, do you remember when he asked whose first time here at MTE is this?
Yeah.
And first of all, there was standing room only at Rennie's presentation, but then over half the room raised their hand, which was
Cool.
Crazy to me, which was so awesome. It just kind of showed two things. Either one, how many more people have come into this industry in the last 2 years, or two, just how many more have advanced their businesses to that next level, which was really, really cool. And then you did one on RV detailing and pricing, which was super awesome. Again, a totally full room, great presentation. So we will work on getting that out. And then mine was on running an unconventional business. And again, full room. They all were awesome. We had great attendees, great questions. And so I will be working on that today, getting all the videos.
They should all be uploaded by now.
Yep, getting them all linked for YouTube. So if you guys weren't at MTE or were in a different classroom, we'll try to get those up on the PNS YouTube sometime between today and tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. I'll be on a plane later this afternoon, so hoping to have a little bit of time to work on that. But so great, so great. So if you guys missed it, we have, and I apologize, Chris, I was going to ask you to play this and I totally forgot. But if you check out the PNS Instagram, Facebook, we did a kind of a recap video that Ian shot for us, which was super great. Kind of showed our booth, which turned out really good, and just kind of the, classes and things like that. So it was a great little video. You'll be able to see the Bead Maker Lounge, which turned out, I think, far better than anybody thought. We all loved the white couches, and it was just a great place to sit and connect, which is what we needed this year, right?
Yeah, the booth itself kind of just came together. Like we had all these ideas, and I think we thought that we'd have a small table, right, for the podcast area, and that grew to be the entire back wall, which turned out great.
Yeah.
And then the Bead Maker Lounge just became a place to talk and hang out, and really, just kind of a nice area to be. And then there's a table where we got to do some more work and display for products, but we just had a lot of people coming into the booth. We wanted it to be very inviting, and just to build relationships again and talk about the newest products. It was great. MTE, it's kind of a hangout show, but at the same time, it's all about education. That's one thing I really loved about it. And the IDA I wanted to talk about did CD, SV, and MC, so Marine certification. And I met some guys in the Marine certification when I went to take it that it was their first time at MTE. They just heard about the IDA like the week before, and they came and they fully embraced it all. It was really cool. I had a great time with them. Want to watch the video really quick, and then we can talk about our details?
Yep.
Yeah, let's see if this will work.
That's us sneaking in the door.
There's music, but it must not be playing.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So you did a great job with that.
Yeah. We had these really cool glass display cases that were all lit up. They were so nice. There's the Bead Maker Lounge. That was Bob and I intently listening to Michael Hill talk about ceramics. It was very interesting.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Sydney on another podcast, Rennie on another podcast, Sydney on another podcast. We did
That's when
Bead
we were
Maker
live
coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
Yeah. That was fun going live on Instagram. We're going to have to do that more often.
Yep. We just got to figure out how to make the comments come back. That was the only thing about that one.
Yeah, I just had to continually scroll through them.
Yep.
So I'll let you start because.
Cool. All right. So we got home super late on Sunday because we had to fly clear back across the country. So I had I'm trying to think, is that the day that I had to do I had an F350 to ceramic coat the morning after I got home. So I got home super late, had a full blown schedule, went straight back into it. So it was a crazy week. And you know what, 1 second. I forgot my daughter's standing here. So I was like, oh no, go grab me my new bottle. I forgot. So one thing that kind of stands out to me this week was, I did a couple ceramic coats, which were fun. But I did 2 older cars that, they've been in before, but it's been a while. And the one that kind of stands out to me was, and I posted this on my Instagram, without any context, but I worked on it was probably, I don't know, maybe like a 2015 4Runner, 2016. And what was cool about this was it wasn't super dirty, but about a year and a half ago, I had this car came in because a fire extinguisher had exploded in the back end of this 4Runner. And so, we all know 4Runners are all very, plastic and lots of grooves and, dips and stuff. And so I had totally cleaned it a year and a half ago, used a lot of steam. It took me, 6 hours to get all the fire extinguisher material out of there. And so then obviously treated it and stuff, but then now it came back this week and it was pretty clean. And one thing I was happy to find was I didn't find any residue that I missed the last time, but because of that residue that had been on there, it had kind of dried out the plastics and the leather and things like that. It didn't look terrible, but they were definitely dried out. So I got to obviously, protect the entire interior with natural finish. And it always it was just one of those things where it amazes me how great it makes an interior look, because we all, we don't necessarily like that super shiny, sticky, protected interior. So I was just so happy to have the natural finish completely restore that interior back to, like new condition. It looked great, smelled great. So it was just one of those weeks where I was like, man, this product is so good. I just love natural finish. It just rehydrated everything, but kept it kind of, crisp and clean. A lot of, people that drive these vehicles, they don't want shiny, they don't want it to look overdone. And so just that natural, and somebody asked me the question the other day, what's the difference between natural finish and shape up? And so natural finish is just the natural satin sheen, right? And then shape up is kind of a glossy satin sheen, right? So, but anyway, one other thing that's exciting is natural finish came out last week in a pint. So here is the new pints, which is so awesome. It's got that nice new Pro Line label on it. And this has never come in a pint before. So we're super excited about this. It just gives everybody kind of that, I always call these like the try me size, even though they're what most people use, but I go through a heavy volume, right? So I call these the try me size, but awesome, awesome interior dressing. If you have not tried natural finish before, I highly recommend it. It's just a great crisp, I'm going to say black because most interiors these days are black, right? Just a nice crisp finish. So just an awesome, awesome product, not sticky, does not collect dust. Love it. So that was
it works great on every surface. And pretty much if it's not glass or piano black,
Yeah.
it works good on the rubber, on the plastics, on the leather,
Yep.
all those surfaces inside of
Mhm.
a vehicle. And I'm not really a shiny exterior person.
Right.
I love putting it on, the step of the truck,
Mhm.
bed
Yep.
edges, cowling,
Mhm.
those areas that I want to look nice and clean and natural, but not
Yep.
super high gloss.
Yeah. It's a
And it works
great
great.
fender well dresser, right? It's
Yeah,
great for that because it just turns it black and crisp and doesn't leave it sticky and shiny. So I use it
yeah.
all the time for fender wells too.
And I like to let it soak in, and sometimes I'll
Mhm.
buff it down a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's not greasy, but it says it all in the name, natural
Yeah.
finish. So it's been a favorite of mine for a long time,
Mhm.
but it didn't really get to shine because dynamic was kind of
Right.
taking away all of the noise, right? And
Yep.
since we don't have dynamic, this gets its opportunity to stand out.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
well, I'll talk about my detail last week. So we, got busy right off the bat when I got home, and I grabbed it was an Infinity SUV that me and my guys did. And most of the time we use Express Interior on everything inside of a vehicle. Every once in a while, we just have leather that Express isn't cleaning, and we are using the the Scrub Ninja and
Mhm.
brush, and the leather just, I don't know if it was the dog or if it was kids, but the leather just wasn't coming clean in the back seats.
Mhm.
So I busted out my favorite EnviroClean, and it was a 10-to-1, so it was a little bit more diluted, and scrubbed that leather in the back, and it came out great. Um, and it just reminded me how much I love boosting areas with
Mhm.
EnviroClean. So I kind of have Express with me all the time,
Yep.
and then EnviroClean is nearby for those areas that just need a little bit more crud cutting, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
But I did it on leather. So I made sure that we followed behind with our leather treatment and cleaned that up. And it looked really nice, natural. Um, so
Cool.
EnviroClean coming in once again to save the day for me. It
Nice.
just was one of those reminders that Express can do about 90% of the vehicles. Every once in a while, I need a little EnviroClean.
Yep. Yep. Even if it's just on certain areas, right?
Yeah,
Cool. All right. Well, we've got a ton of questions coming in. Do we want to jump into questions,
yeah,
Chris?
let's do it.
Yeah, let me grab
Real quick, while
one.
you're working on that, you guys stay tuned to our social media over the next couple days. So I mentioned I was flying out today. I'm actually going to Hayward, which I'm super excited. I know PNS has been doing a lot of work around the warehouse and stuff, so I'm super excited to see it. I'm really excited to see Steven's new store next door. And so I will be there this evening. I'm going to be attending as an intern, the skills training class tomorrow, and then the coding class on Wednesday. So I'll be with Prentice. I'm super excited about that. And then Ian and I are going to be working on a couple videos. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I will try to, give you guys some inside shots and things like that from inside PNS.
Are
I'm
you going to
super
make some
excited to see
TikToks?
everything change. Yeah, I'll work on some TikToks. That'll be fun. But yeah, I'm super excited to see all the new spaces that they've done and stuff. So watch our social media. I'll try to give you guys a inside peek there.
All
All right.
right. Who we got
Let's see. First
first?
question. All right. Jim says, I have seen some others mixing Dreammaker and Bead into Beadmaker. Will that help on static clean issue with Bead? Well, I can't read this morning. So honestly, Jim, this has come up a lot and I still haven't tried it yet. I still haven't tried it yet. But that is mainly because I don't really have that static cling issue with Beadmaker, especially right now because it's winter. So some have said that it is. I have no reason to doubt them. I'm sure that it probably does. I just don't know, and maybe I can chat with Dave about this more when I'm there. Today is what the ramifications of mixing them. I mean, a lot of people have been doing it. Must be okay. My only question is just, does it inhibit the effects of Bead Maker because you're technically, not using as much on the paint. So I want to double check on that. Nothing can harm it. It just may not be as helping as much as we think. So that's the only thing.
So it's going to be interesting. I don't ever recommend mixology, right? On some of these products. I don't see that would hurt anything. But remember, Dreammaker has a little bit fuller body than Bead Maker. So it may actually cause some dusting if you mix things up. What I would recommend is using Bead Maker and then going and topping it with paint gloss. If you are one of those who has a static issue, paint gloss is anti-static, and that's the way I would go if you're trying to reduce that from happening. I don't really ever see a problem with static on Bead Maker where I'm at in Southern California, but I also don't like keep cars around long enough for me to see that. I do the customer's car, I get paid, and I leave. So I don't have cars just sitting around. I'm not at the customer's house for hours after we apply, Bead Maker. But paint gloss is the key for anti-static.
Yep. Yeah. And that's, I don't, right now it's winter here, so we don't really have a lot of dust and things like that. But I've been doing the paint gloss for, over 2 years now, right? It was 2 years ago when we were at SEMA. And so I've been doing paint gloss for a long time. So I haven't had the dusting issue. And really, if you guys haven't listened to last week on Thursday, Dave Phillips was on the Rag Company Q&A, which was super awesome. We'll have him on ours here in a couple weeks. But the dusting issue obviously came up a lot. And so I highly encourage you to go check out that Q&A. He talked a lot about the dusting issue. And if I don't want to quote him, but they did some pretty extensive testing, and it seemed that all products kind of dusted the same. So I really think here the key is obviously, I'm a big fan of the paint gloss, and my hair's crazy today. And but try it. Like I said, and you're not going to hurt anything. I just don't know that you're taking away some of that protection from the Bead Maker. So I will chat with Dave about that this week, and we can readdress this on the next Bead Maker and Coffee.
Sorry, I'm responding to something. I think you're totally right there.
Yeah.
And PNS says good morning. Bob says good morning.
Good morning, kids. Bob. I will see you later.
See you
Okay, so Abraham says, why does Rags to Riches coagulate? I've noticed it from cool to warm. I've never noticed that, but if you are keeping it in extreme temperatures, I feel like, have we heard that? Have we heard that Rags to Riches freezes? In extreme, they stay in a constant temperature, so I've not seen that.
The only time I ever heard anything that happened wrong is when it was shipped to a really cold place. But if you shake it up, it was fine.
Yeah.
Other than that, I haven't had any coagulating issues, and I have some that's been sitting. I have a case that's been sitting of gallons for a while, so it won't hurt anything. It'll break down even if it went into the wash.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. I think most of our products are stable through kind of, heat and cold. The only one that I've ever heard of that could be an issue if it fully freezes is Bead Maker. But the rest of them, they should be fine, warm them up, shake them out. But I do encourage you always with any chemicals is not to keep them in conditions where they can, fluctuate, a lot with the temperature. That's just kind of not a good thing as a general rule of thumb.
Yeah, I agree. Your room temperature is always best for, keeping your products in best order of use.
Cool. All right, Christopher. So I'm wondering if I should offer paint enhancement, which consists of an all-in-one polish or just a one-step polish and seal.
I agree. It's a good service to have in your arsenal. Not everyone wants to pay for a coating, and not everyone wants to pay for a paint correction. So having an enhancement where you're removing some very fine defects, gloss enhancing, using a product like Ultra Coat Polish or I'm drawing a blank right now. Gosh.
Playmaker.
Playmaker. I was trying to say something else with maker on the end of it. I was like Dream Maker, Bead Maker. We have a lot of makers now.
Yeah, I'm laughing at the construction maker.
Playmaker would be great because they both have mild abrasives. Oh, there goes my ring light. It's dead. Both have mild abrasives that are going to clean the paint and then leave some protection behind. So that'd be great for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a really fair thing to do. Hi, Benson. Ultra coat polish is probably my favorite, and my favorite thing to do with ultra coat is to, polish the whole car and then remove it all with Bead Maker. So that process works awesome, and then that you're kind of leaving behind that nice sealant. It makes it super easy to wipe off. Playmaker's great also. I think Playmaker probably has a little bit extra polish in it, and so it does a little bit slightly more correction. But either one is a really great thing to do. It's quick and easy, and you're good to go. So then I see his follow-up question: how long does Playmaker last as far as protection? That I don't know. And again, this is going to totally depend on the surface of the paint, the conditions in which it's kept, how they're caring for it. That's all going to play into it. So if they're running it through a car wash every week, it's not going to last very long. If it's parked outside, it's not going to last very long. So it's very dependent. So we don't really put a time on it. But if I had to guess, I would say, what would you think, Kyle? Maybe like 2 months?
Well, yeah, 2 to 3 months is what I would give it. That's what I've seen on, I did an RV with Playmaker, and it lasted about 3 months, but it's also kept indoors.
Right.
But it goes to some pretty harsh environments. So there's some, differences there. What I like to do is, as my final wipe off though, I like to give a fine mist on a towel using the FTW towel, and just wipe off the dust with Bead Maker and add a little bit more protection as your final wipe. I wouldn't make it a big deal like you're spraying a ton of Bead Maker on. You're adding just a little bit extra.
Yeah. Yep.
Hold on.
Great question.
It's all good.
I'm getting caught up here.
You're
I
fine.
was doing something.
And then when you guys ask questions too, if you let us know where you're at. I know some of you already, but there's a few new faces. So
first from Puerto Rico says, nice garage change, Madame Sydney. Thank you. That was an awesome video. I got tons of comments on it at MTE. So I really appreciate everybody watching. For those that didn't catch it, my garage update video came out the Saturday before we left for MTE. So it is on the Rag Company YouTube channel under their garage tour section if you don't find it, but it should be kind of one of the more recent ones. So yeah, super fun. Love my new garage.
See, and I thought he was just referring to the fact you're in your living room today.
Oh, I think he means the garage update.
I think you're right.
But I am in the living room, and the sun's finally coming up. It's too cold. It's like 18 degrees here. I'm not sitting in my garage. I have to go work out there later. I'm sitting inside.
Dude, we're gonna have like 80 today.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And windy.
When I went
still
to my
windy
coffee,
here. The wind won't stop.
All right.
What are the cons cons do you recommend detailing business owners?
I didn't quite understand this one, but I think it was in reference to mobile tech.
Yeah. What other conventions do you recommend detailing businesses owners?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly. So I'd say like mobile tech is a great one. We always attend SEMA. And there's a few others. I know that the Southern Detailers Conference is one that's kind of up and coming. It's on a few years now. And I believe it has a different ownership now, or there's hopefully going to be more promotion of it. So we should see that coming out. Yeah. What else? There used to be one called Detail Fest. Auto Geek used to do. Maybe that'll come back again one day. Yeah. That was more of a DIY show. But not just conventions. I mean, there's lots of events.
Big one, and then SEMA. I have, and if I remember hearing right, the Southern Detailers Conference did have great education days. I think the education days are awesome when you can kind of do the connection and the education. But then there's also obviously lots of other opportunities to do education, through Detailing Success or PNS, or, there's lots of other classes out there. We have one day extremes all across the country. So those are always good, but the ones that have the education day are so great. And SEMA has some education days, right? They have some,
So
not really.
education happens like the whole week
Yeah,
at
right.
SEMA. You can sign up for different classes. I've attended a couple.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny. Every time I sign up, and I sign up for like 10,
Mm-hmm.
I've like the last 4 years, I never attended any of them because
Yeah,
I'm so busy.
right.
And
Yeah,
you get talking to someone, and then you figure out, oh, this class is, on the other side of the entire convention. Yeah, I'm not going to walk all that way.
yeah.
So there's lots to do there and to see and to learn. But I think mobile tech, as far as like education and detailing,
Yeah,
it's pretty. It's right now it's like the premier show for that
yeah.
because it's kind of the International Detailing Association show.
Yeah, yeah. I highly encourage you to attend MTE next year. I mean, this year, the growth in the last 2 years was insane, that I can only imagine what next year is going to be like.
Yeah.
Really good show. Really good show. Now at SEMA, though, there's plenty for detailers to do as well. So that is still an awesome show. All right. Cindy says, probably been asked before, is Beadmaker enough protection to be used as a standalone finish? The car is a garage queen, so it's only driven on nice days and not in the winter. It does not see rain and is rinseless washed. That is my kind of car. I love it. Absolutely, it's enough protection. That sounds totally fine. And really, Beadmaker is a fine standalone, even for a daily driver. You would just want to do it more often, but absolutely, in that case, that's great.
I want to know what kind of car it is.
Yeah, really.
Oh yeah,
What
me too.
what
Yeah.
kind of car is it?
I used to have one of those though, that like it couldn't go out if it didn't see if there was clouds in the sky, which was awesome. So very cool. Yes, Cindy, you're totally fine just using Beadmaker. You're good. And then make sure to use Dreammaker every now and then.
And
too.
where you located at? Like what state is this car
Yeah.
sitting in?
Yeah, Cindy, come back and tell us what state you're in and what kind of car it is. Now we all want to know.
You got the gears in the head turning, man.
Yep.
It's cool.
You guys want a kind of a marketing question here?
Yeah. Abraham, does anyone get business from TikTok? So yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Every once in a while.
Yep. And the biggest thing with TikTok is, you can get a ton more views on TikTok than you can, say, on Instagram and things like that, especially if you have a video that goes viral. So a couple of suggestions for TikTok is in your bio, make sure that you have like a link tree. And if you don't know what that is, just Google it. You can have a link tree and just make sure that you have a way for people to find you. So make sure you have links to your website, to your Instagram, to your phone number. Just make sure people can find you. That's one thing that I notice on TikTok is some people, you're like, what state are you even in? And you have no way of figuring it out. The other thing is if you have room in the hashtags is to use your city name, because right, that's how people find you. So always just have something that links back to so that they can find you. That's my biggest thing there. But yes, absolutely. I know a couple of years ago, Kyle had a video that went viral and yeah, so we are seeing it become a very big marketing tool, whereas 2 years ago it was not, and it's really becoming a much bigger deal. Just make sure if you are planning on using your page for business building, make sure you keep it professional. I know TikTok can be a little bit edgy sometimes, and that's fine, but err on the side of the caution. Don't be too crazy on there.
Well, and do you want business from customers, or do you want to promote stuff to other detailers?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's like detailers showing off to detailers. Right. And so you're giving away all your tricks to other detailers, but you're also giving all your tricks to your customers.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to show, be creative and show what you're doing, but at the same time, and be knowledgeable, but don't like promote your business to detailers, promote your business to your customers.
Yeah.
You got to figure out your way of doing that.
Yep. And I've seen some people have 2 separate accounts, right? Kyle and I both only have one, but I think yours is called Extreme Detailing and mine's just my name. I'm not really using mine to promote my business because, right, I like to be secret. So I'm not really using mine to get business, but so mine's just my name. And then Kyle, yours is your business name. And then I've seen lots of people that have a personal account and then also a business account. And so, I follow a ton of accounts that are literally the detail name. So just decide what you want to use it for. I think it's great. We are getting a lot more traction on TikTok with our PNS Detail Products page. And so, we're having some fun with that and growing that. And I think TikTok's great. I think it's definitely becoming a marketing tool for sure.
Oh,
so
it's taking over.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Facebook and Instagram had a huge loss last week in the stock market. I saw that.
Yeah.
And as they analyzed it, they said TikTok is where everyone is going. And they love the authenticity through it. Yeah. And it's not the same like data collection for promotion. So TikTok is growing. And so if you're not doing it, you're going to be like those people that jumped on Instagram late, like me.
Yeah. Yep. Be ahead of the curve for sure.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Bright and early. I love that the sun is coming up in both of our houses at the same time. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I will see you this evening, Bob. I'm so excited. So excited to go to Hayward today.
When you get there late?
No, I get there at like 6. It's not late. I leave Boise at like 5:30 and I get to Hayward or to San Francisco at like 6:25 because it's just an hour flight. So yeah, super easy. Very cool.
Let's see. I'm looking for. Let's try this one.
All right. Jose says, this is Jose from Sonoma County, California. What do you recommend putting on headlights after headlight restoration as a protector?
Well, I would say Inspiration is going to be my go-to for that. A couple layers. You can use Legend as well. They're not exactly clear coats. It's not like you're replacing the same UV protectant coating that came factory on the headlights. But out of our lineup, that's what I would recommend. But if you're trying to replace that UV coating, there are options out there of clear coats that you can put on a headlight. And that's, depends on the price point that you're looking for. If it's like a restoration and you're fully sanding them down and bringing them all the way out and re-clear coating them and you're going to get $150, $200 for it, or if it's more of a buff, polish, and coating, and you're going to get probably $75 or $100 for that. So depends on the price point, Jose, and the work you're going to put into it. Yeah.
And I generally, I do, I don't do crazy heavy sanding, usually just, 800 and up. And I just use the Inspiration and I let them know that, we probably need to reapply the coating once a year. And that works for me. Because I'm in a home shop, I don't want to be spraying clear or anything like that. And that's been working for me. I haven't had any problems. And like Kyle said, I just do, 2 coats of Inspiration. And then I let them know that we need to, top the coating every year. And that's been working just fine for me. So I think that, is a good kind of in between protector. It's better than not doing anything at all. You definitely want to put something on there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best we have for that.
Yeah.
There's other products I've used in the past for headlight coatings, but they were more like a true clear coat, not just adding a ceramic topper.
Right.
Yep. Well, I'll have to let you guys know because my Mini Cooper, I just had to redo after about 2 years. It had IGL headlight or lens on it, whatever they call their product.
Yeah.
And this time I put Inspiration on it. So
nice.
We'll find out how long it lasts.
Nice. Nice.
The product that I used to use for that is not available anymore. They can't sell it in California, and the stuff that you could buy has changed. So I really don't get into doing headlight restoration as much because I just hate that I can't like put a wipe on clear coat on in the same way anymore.
Yeah. Cool. Uni. Good morning, Uni.
Good morning.
For those that don't know, we'll follow her directions for her. She's from Corona, California. Which coating is your favorite to coat rims? I love this question. Do you want to answer, Kyle?
Inspiration. The reason I love Inspiration for coating wheels is one, it's durable, it's easy to apply on wheels, and it's easy to level, especially in the tight areas, you know, where the wheel spokes meet the actual, you know, rim. And it flashes at a nice even pace. It doesn't flash fast. And if the wheels are really complicated, that works really great. Legend will work nicely also, but I would only really do Legend for myself if the wheels are very simple design. Just because I would hate to have Legend cure in a tiny little nook and cranny. That'd be difficult to level it out. So Inspiration has become it. And you know what's great about Inspiration? If you want to airbrush it, you can airbrush it into the lug nut area. You can airbrush it, you know, onto the barrels. You can do all that with Inspiration. It works great.
Yeah. I love it. Also, I've done a couple tests, you know, because I do see my customers' cars pretty often. I've done several tests where, you know, because wheels get so hot, you know, some coatings just don't hold up very well. And I've just been impressed with how easy Inspiration goes on and then how long it lasts. That's probably the biggest reason why it's my favorite. Not only is it really easy to put on, but it seems to have a pretty high heat threshold. And so I really, really like that. It, you know, I definitely notice it staying on the wheels a lot longer than other wheel coatings. So really, I love Inspiration. It's so great. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Samantha, with Island Shine, can you speak about it? We can. I still have not used it. And Island Shine, I think I've heard it's great. I haven't used it just because, you know, I've used obviously the ones that are more kind of, you know, mainstream, dynamic, natural finish, shape up, things like that. So I have Island Shine. I just haven't really broke into it. So Kyle, you've used Island Shine though.
Yeah. Island Shine's really nice product. I kind of feel the same thing that I got into our more popular dressings off the bat, but I still wanted to try it. I have a 5-gallon of it that I use, but it's kind of like from you know what Bob and Davis said is Island Shine's a great product, but Odyssey is kind of a better version of Island Shine. It's a little bit more advanced technology in there, and so but we have it because we have a lot of fans of it. You know, we don't want people to change just because what's new. As long as we're making it and you love it, continue to use it. Has a nice smell to it, but Island Shine is a nice product, like Shine All, like Odyssey. We have a lot of dressings for people to choose from, but they all have their different usage and different price points. I use Shine All on all my fleet stuff because it's more affordable than me using, and I'll say this, I have a small stockpile of dynamic. That's where I use on my other vehicles. And I use Wipe and Shine on vehicles that I ceramic coated because I don't want to spray anything around the vehicle, and I love the look Wipe and Shine has. So if you already have Island Shine, use it. You'll love it. If you don't have it, give Odyssey a try. I think that's the direction I'd point you, because it does leave a nice, super dark tire. Better than Island Shine will.
Is Island Shine one of those products that's not available everywhere?
No, that's Hawaiian Shine.
Oh,
right.
Oh my goodness.
Island Shine is
Island,
more of a white, milky dressing, just like Odyssey is. Hawaiian Shine is the blue solvent, non-VOC compliant. Well, I guess it's not California compliant. Both are really good though.
Gotcha.
I love the smell of that stuff.
Yeah.
It brings me back 23 years ago when I started detailing.
Yep. All right, Anthony with, I found an unopened bottle of inspiration from a little over a year ago. Is it still good to use? Most likely, depending on where it's been kept, if it's been kind of in extreme heat or cold, you might want to check it. So I would just check it, somewhere on your own vehicle or on a test panel, because really what you're looking for is just the behavior of it. Is if it's acting normal, then it should be perfectly fine to use. So if it's going on normal, wiping off normal, you should be good to go. I had some bottles too that I have found, just like a little bit left, and I've, used it on trim and things like that, or wheels. Like I kind of keep some of those bottles that just have that much left in the bottom, and I'll still use them and they work fine. But it's probably just going to depend on where it's been kept, but it should be fine.
Am I frozen or can you see me?
No, we got you.
Okay. On my screen, I'm frozen.
Oh.
Yeah, I've used bottles of coating that are a year old. I keep mine in a nice, cool place. I actually keep my coatings in my fridge.
Mhm.
If they're not in my van, they're in my fridge. So, yeah, it should be fine as long as there's no crystallization around the edges. There's no problem with it. Crack it open and use it. But I don't recommend it sitting that long. Something that I just saw. Let's go to the business card question after this.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like Abraham, what he's saying, asking questions about TikTok and other stuff. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this idea because I've done it in the past. I think we've moved kind of past business cards being used, and I don't like when someone touches my truck.
Yeah.
A detailer did that last week at the gym, and I was pretty annoyed that I came outside and there was a card on my truck. So, and a lot of cities, if you're not careful, they have ordinances that if you're going to flyer vehicles, you actually have to get a permit for that. So I don't know where you live, but there is a fine if you get caught doing it, and in my city, and you have to go to the city and get permission to do that. So there's better ways of doing and getting business now. I feel with social media, I think your idea is the cheapest way to do it by far. But if you're looking for business, go knock on doors. Go knock on businesses and leave people your card or hand out your card.
Yeah.
Actually, in person, hand it out.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. So yeah, not a fan of anybody touching my car. I think there's a fine line there where, some cars that you put it on, people might think, oh, that's great. But then if you find people like me that are complete freaks about my car, I don't want anybody touching it. So I would actually throw the card away just because somebody touched my car. So I would not do that. But I do like Kyle's idea of going into businesses, because when I've told my story before I was a detailer, I was a dental office manager, and that's how I got my car detailed. Was a gentleman came in, a mobile detailer came into our office and said, "Hey, I'm a mobile detailer. You guys are here working all day. If anybody needs their car detailed, I come to you. I do it right here in your parking lot." And I was like, "Sign me up," right? So I think that's a great idea. I think that's where you're showing your face, your personality, and offering them a service. And I think you're going to do much better with that. So I would definitely try that. I totally agree.
I mean, you could stand out in front of the gym and just have your cards and say, "Hey, I'm a mobile detailer. Here's my card," and just pass it out. It'd be way better. It's more personable. People want that connection now. And yeah, I saw that detailer's business card all over at the gym parking lot, all over the ground. So I think you just wasted cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. But good question, because that's a good marketing question.
Been there, done that, my friend.
Yep. All right. Tom Kirby says, I need to coat a new Mustang, but the dealer used a wax. So best products to strip that before coating. I'm thinking a light polish and paint prep. So no matter what, when you're doing a coating, you always want to paint prep or polish and paint prep. So that's going to take care of that wax. You don't even need to worry about it. It's going to fully take care of it. So yeah, give it a good strip wash and then polish, paint prep, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
What polish do you recommend for that?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, I've done a lot of new cars lately. And I mean, to be honest, this isn't a PNS product, but my favorite is the Last Cut, right? And I love the Last Cut polish or Last Cut compound, right? And Last Cut Plus
Yeah.
is pretty great. But I also use a ton of the Deep Finish. Also, Deep Finish is a great polish. So when I say I'm doing new cars, here's my caveat here is when I'm doing them is the dealerships in Boise have the worst car washes anywhere. So a polish doesn't just work for me. So that's why I'm having to go to a compound, but I don't want to do a two-step, right? So I love Ego Maker as a compound, but I always have to go back with a second step. So I'm having to hit it in the middle, which the Last Cut's a great kind of all-in-one compound where you're not having to go back over. But if you're literally just needing to polish, a light polish, Deep Finish polish is great. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And then paint prep, it'll take the oils from the polish or the compound out of the paint.
Yep.
And you're good to go.
And have fun, because I'm not a fan of new Mustangs.
If it's solid black,
on Mustang paint.
Fun.
Corey, if using an airbrush to apply ceramic, what do you clean the airbrush with?
So each company that has an airbrush has a recommended cleaner. I have used paint thinner, and I just took the airbrush and I just put it in a tiny glass bottle with paint thinner in it, let it soak, and then I just shot it through the gun, and it was fine. So that's what I would do. That's what I've always done is paint thinner. Just gotta make sure it's fully dry before you use it. Some companies have other products they prefer you to use. I just used an Amazon airbrush, and I just dripped it into the top and airbrushed. The only thing I recommend you do if you're going to airbrush, make sure, there's three things: well ventilated area, wear a mask, and wear safety goggles. You will get coating on your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Protect your eyes.
You clean it out right away, right? I mean, for sure. Clean it out right. Don't let it. Yep.
There's some areas where I don't even level, say like suspension and stuff. But most of the time I spray it and then I'll level it with the towel.
Yep. To follow that up, Samantha says, when are you two going to do a class on airbrushing ceramic?
We'll talk to Bob.
We'll put that on the list. We'll put that on the list. There'll be
maybe we'll have to get with Ian and make a video of us using inspiration with an airbrush. I mean, it's not something we talk about a lot, but it's definitely a tool. I love it for like lug nuts. It's like my favorite place because I don't want to take wheels off. So I want to get in those lug nuts and put it on thick so it stays clean in those tight areas.
Or some of these new crazy grills, right?
Yeah.
Crazy new grills out there. So it's great for that, but it is definitely a advanced technique. We'll put it that way. Cool. And Tom, just to follow up, he said it's a red Mustang with a black roof. Better than a black Mustang. The black Mustangs are a nightmare. Cynthia says, GM, what steps would you recommend to remove high spots, improperly applied ceramic coating that are several months old? Well, that's a tough one.
Start with the minimal approach with a polish and a pad and work your way up and see what's going to take it off.
Yeah.
So go like deep finish with like a blueberry pad. And then if that doesn't do it, you would go to Ego Maker and a blueberry pad. If that doesn't do it, then I'd go do a lamb's wool and a blueberry or a lamb's wool and Ego Maker. And if that doesn't do it, you may be busting out some 3000 grit sandpaper.
Yeah. Yeah. And so my other question would be, are you wanting to completely remove the ceramic that's on there, or are you just kind of wanting to fix it? Because if you want to totally remove it, absolutely just, compound polish, you're going to have to start over. You're looking to just fix the high spots and, because I had a vehicle like this a couple months ago. This is why I'm asking, where I didn't necessarily, obviously I wasn't the one that applied the ceramic. So I wasn't wanting to completely start over. because I was trying to repair it for a dealership. So what I did was I just used Ultra Coat polish, and that took out the high spots and kind of evened everything out, where then I could, throw on a layer of sole and it was good to go. So that is also an option if you're not wanting to completely start over, because obviously if you use a polish and compound, you're most likely starting completely over. So if it's just wanting to fix some things, then you could also try Ultra Coat polish and then, throw another coat of, inspiration or soul or whatever you want over the top. So it just depends on if you were the one that did it. What was it? Are you wanting to remove it? There's a couple variables in there. So,
And whenever you're fixing a
you
coating,
said looking to fix it first.
if it wasn't your, install, and, you're not just doing it to be nice, this is kind of like an hourly kind of job.
Yeah.
Because you're diagnosing a problem, which you don't know
Right.
the answer to yet.
Mhm.
And so if you just give a flat rate, you could be getting yourself in trouble. So be careful, with how you price that service. If it took you all day and you're only going to make a little bit of money, that's not
Yeah.
worth your time. So just be careful with that and diagnose it and figure out and fix it.
Yeah.
And then reapply.
Yeah. And if you're just looking to fix it first, start at the lowest and go up from there. And like Kyle said, just give them a range, and let them know. But, you would want to start with like NV or Ultra Coat and try to fix it and then, move up. But yeah, let them know that you won't know until you get into the first panel what the actual solution is going to be. So just make sure you keep your time protected there.
There was a question earlier I saw. Yeah, someone talked about dropping cards.
So Rick said, kind of a follow-up to this, he has a coating removal and recoat coming up and he's just charging $100 an hour. I think that's very fair. I think that is definitely, that's a good way to go into it. Say, we're going to fix this, and, fixing it could mean, kind of think of it like when you hire a plumber or, someone to fix something on your house. They say, if it ends up being a simple fix, it may only take me 2 to 3 hours. Or if it could get more difficult, it could take me 10 hours. And so, just let them know that, but let them know that you're going to know after the first panel where you're testing what it's going to be. And then you can give them a better idea. But I think the $100 an hour for doing repair is a very fair price point. And I think that gives them a heads up on, that you just don't know how many hours it's going to take you, but it could be anywhere from 300 to, 1,000, depending on what you end up with. And then obviously that's not counting the coating if you have to recoat it.
I want to know more about this story, how this happened, because I'm one of those that if someone called me and got a price and then they went to the other guy,
Yeah.
like I'm going to be nice to them, but I'm also not going to be, I'm going to rub it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, you went to the cheaper guy. This is what you got. Now I have to fix it.
Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, you got to communicate that.
Well, and good point. If it was somebody that had called me and went to the cheaper guy, and because they knew my price and then I had to fix it, it would probably be $200 an hour. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Now you got to redo everything.
Yeah. That would be funny.
We found out.
Okay. So Pristine Auto Detailing, what are good Discord groups to chat with like-minded business, detail business owner, operators, creators? I find motivation from talking to other detailers and YouTube creators.
This can be great, and it also can be bad.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of hesitant. I mean, I think there's a lot of great groups on Facebook. I think that you just need to kind of test them out and see what kind of the personality of those in the group is. There's a couple groups where it's very ego driven, which those ones drive me absolutely bonkers. Kind of try to stay away from the groups that are like all or nothing. Like, there's just some where everybody is so opinionated, and, be with open-minded people. Definitely find one that's more business oriented versus, removing. I mean, there's some that are literally all just paint correction, right?
Yeah, no, there's some that's just paint correction. There's some that are more driven towards the DIY, and it's, to you and I and some others, we may think some of the questions are silly.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember people did start somewhere. You know,
Yeah.
some of them are enthusiasts,
Mhm.
and there's detailers, and they're giving different advice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just gotta have to give it a try on those. There's many groups out there. I know that Sydney and I are part of a group within the Detail Mafia. We have a private group that you have to go to training to be a part of. And there's other groups like that where you need to attend a training to join that group as well. So that, I hope that answers your questions, but we don't want to talk bad about any of the groups, but there are some that have some drama.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So Mark just asked a question. This was actually what I was going to follow up with, is he asked, will there be a PNS Facebook group in the future? It is definitely in the works. We just got kind of sidetracked with getting ready for MTE and stuff, but we fully plan on opening up a PNS Facebook group. And we actually have one. It's just a little bit, we're kind of doing some changes. And so we will probably be launching that. I mean, my goal would be in the next month or two. We've just got some things to kind of put together for that. But yes, we do plan on having a PNS Facebook group, just because mainly we've had so many requests for it. So, for sure, we'll try to put that together.
I think the holdup right now is we're trying to make sure that we have the admins set up for it, because Sydney and I and Rennie and Bob and the whole team, we can't all be on it all the time to help and assist.
Yeah.
So we're going to utilize some of our partners for that, and we got to make those connections first and make sure everyone's committed to that before we launch it.
Yeah. But yes, so watch for it, and we'll definitely talk about it here. But yes, it is in the works. We've got a great name for it, so we're super excited about it. We just need to have the manpower to launch it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm at the Sydney. End of the list. I'm having quite a morning over here. I'll have to fill you guys in later.
No problem. No problem.
Oh, great.
So we've had lots of questions, nice to meet us. And yes, it was so great to meet everybody. We were super excited to get to connect with a lot of you on here, that we recognize names and stuff like that. So that was super exciting. So you guys remember, stay tuned to PNS social media this week, as I'll be in Hayward and, giving you guys some sneak peeks inside the building. I'm super excited about that. And we will be back in 2 weeks for Bead Maker and Coffee. And we're hoping that it you guys are warm. I'm hoping that it warms up in the next 2 weeks. But so thank you everybody for joining us today, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for waking up early and joining us, Uni. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.